Right. Now, for the new project, what we're going to do, we have this reference, which is really a beautiful pomegranate composition. So we're going to start with the background. We have the composition traced on, and we have the shadows as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to paint in between the shadows the highlighted color, which is going to be white, black and white, so it's a gray. You could also use, if you have a gray paint tube, you could use that, but I think mixing it is better because you can control the value more. So I have here white, titanium white, ivory black, and burnt umber. Adding burnt umber to give that gray a little bit of an earth tone, a warm kind of gray.
Is it burnt umber or raw umber?
Burnt umber. Because we tried, remember, I tried the raw umber and it was a little bit too cool. The burnt umber will give the gray a nice warm hint to it. Okay, let's see. I have a feeling we might need a little bit more white, but this is kind of a mid-tone. I'm going to start from this is a little bit too light. I'm going to take a little bit of black, put it in, and make it slightly darker because I can always highlight. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. It will dry darker. Also, I'm seeing that this shadow is going this way. And in between, I'll show you in a minute. So it's not a just black and white, gray and burnt umber. There's a little bit of a nice kind of transition. And I'm going to take a round brush. Ooh, this is a new one. Okay. Darken a little bit. The same mixture. And then add it here at the sides. So you have a very nice soft transition from dark to light.
What did you add there? Sorry, Nael. You just around
just a bit of black and white. I'm sorry, just a bit of black. A little bit black in here. Bring that darker color down. Not the highlighted one, the darker one that I just did. Bring it down. to this side. And now we're going to grab the lighter color. I'll stop in a minute. We're going to grab the lighter color and we're going to just kind of try to add it in here. It's better if we wait for it to dry and then add the lighter color as a dry brush on top instead of mixing it right now. It's mixing with the darker color, but if we wait for it to dry, we'll try another one, and then apply the lighter value with the dry brush technique. It will look nicer. It will give texture. Okay. You can use a color that you can use any brush you like. I'm using a bright or a flat, but you're welcome to use any brush you like, a round one as well. So both of them, I'm using both of them back and forth. So I'm trying to look to see where the shadows or the lights are. Where do they end and where do they start in comparing them with the objects. So I can see here that the highlighted part ends here at this part. Now I'm going to take, let's try the darker color, kind of medium tone. And then I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to apply more of a dry brush technique with the highlight. So it doesn't mix with the background, but it gives a texture. Let's go a little bit darker. Because then I can let it dry, and then we can try the technique of the dry brush technique to apply the highlight and see if we're going to get any texture. Okay. All right. If you end up with a little bit of like specks of red showing through from the background, that's okay. Don't try to cover it completely. Let them show. Like let's have a bit of that red showing. All of this is going to dry darker. Hmm. Bottom or corner part is a little bit darker. And if you have to mix again the gray and add the burnt umber, and it ends up not the same shade of color, it's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. It's actually nicer if it's not. All right, so right here we have two kinds of shadows. One is really strong, dark, which is underneath, it's right underneath the bowl. And there's another one here that goes kind of like this. I'm really liking those little kind of dots, specks of red I'm seeing when I apply the color. I'll take a little bit more white now and start highlighting this part. Nice. I'm going to try the dry brush technique to highlight this so we can get a bit of texture. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work, but I'm going to try. And if it doesn't work, then we can always change it. No, because I'm not getting a texture of the paint because we don't have a medium underneath. I'm getting a texture of the actual canvas. So no, let's just highlight it normal. Right, this is just the first layer. We will work on putting more highlights later on when the color is dry. Okay, another batch of gray, put burnt umber in it. And I'm just gonna, I know in the back, in the actual reference, there are some more seeds and something happening in the back here. We will add them on if we want later on, but because I enlarged it and I cropped it, I'm trying to simplify it. Lighter on this side, on the left, and then it gets darker on the right. one more part. The right hand side, upper part. I'm darkening my color a bit, so this part is darker right here. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to add the shadow underneath all of the the seeds and the pomegranate. So darker gray. I'm going to put in my gray again some burnt umber. So this is slightly darker gray. And I'm going to start, so that usually the shadow is really dark closer to the object, and then it gets lighter. So for now, we're just going to put the darker shadow right there.
Is it pretty well just black and?
No, it's black and white and some burnt umber as well.
You still do, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm doing this. I'm going to take a little bit of white, put some white in part of that the dark shadow color, and just kind of apply it here a little bit. Actually, I chose the wrong side to do this. Hold on. Let's do it on the other side. This side should stay dark. All right. Again, black and white, burnt umber. Okay, let's do it here. This is a great project for values. You keep on, using different kind of values in here. We're using the same color, but we're changing the value. All right, a little bit of white now in my gray, in the dark gray, and I'm going to come here and add it here. Now, you see what happened is, what's happening is, as soon as I added this color, which is the highlighted, slightly highlighted gray from the dark that in the back, I merged the two colors now of the background, and I lost some of the dark, some of the shadow. The shadow of this leaf should be kind of here somewhere, all the way, but I lost it because it's merged with the other one background color. So to get it back, all I have to do is, before I do anything, I'm going to darken this a bit right there. Okay, that's good. And now to get it back, I'm going to take a little bit more white into the gray and come here and highlight around. Then I'll get back this way. I got back my shadow in there. So now I have dark, medium, light. All right. Let's go again, dark, black, white, a little bit of burnt umber, come here, I think, yeah. Sorry, I have to turn it around a bit. I need to do that, and I'm going to do this better. All right, let's go back, dark, black and white, and gray, and sorry, burnt umber. All right, so around the shadow of the bowl, there's another kind of a softer shadow that merges into the dark. So the dark is starts with really dark and then becomes, there's a kind of a soft in between shadow in there, which is the same color, but I'm adding a little bit of white. This way it softens the edge of this shadow of the ball. This kind of grayish in between color will soften the edge. Changing into a round brush. I'm going to take black and the dark gray. I just went a little bit darker, thin line underneath the leaf. And I'll put a little bit of a darker gray here, just here. Okay. Running out of black, so I'm going to put some more. More gray, dark gray. Put burnt umber in there. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now again, underneath this leaf, some shadow underneath this leaf. Really dark gray next to the pomegranate. Oh, jeez. Now, so this part is dark, and then I'm just going to start the same color. I'm going to introduce a little bit more white, lighter, not too much, and kind of blend it softly with the dark. I'm trying to kind of soften a little bit the edge of, like I did before. There is like an extended kind of soft shadow coming over on this side. And it hits the leaf down there. I'm going to kind of make the highlight down over here a little bit stronger. And you'll see it automatically that the shadow will look darker, just because I highlighted around it. Put some highlights. Right, there we go. I'm going to change my brush. Round. And I'm just going to soften a bit the blur. Actually, I should say blur the edge right here, so it's not too sharp. Okay, let's do the same again. Now I'm using darker gray, round brush. Another one here. And a third one right there. And again, the same idea. I'm going to blur the edge. Blurring the edge, it just needs a little bit of a lighter color value. And then, you know, we go around. And that will blur it. Same here. I'm just gonna, just kind of a lighter value. I'm just gonna kind of go in. Actually, this one here needs a bit of adjusting, this shadow. It's easier to soften the edge when the paint is still wet. Again, same, just a little bit. Okay, this needs a bit of more. Push this shadow out a bit. And blur. the edge. I'm just adjusting the shape of the shadow a bit using negative painting. Okay. All right, so I'm going to highlight a little bit more where the strong light is. It makes a big difference. Acrylic dries darker, and it needs constantly to be adjusted. So I'm going to try to give this part, the highlighted part, some lighter color. It should dry darker. If it doesn't dry darker and I find that it's drying too light, I can glaze it. But this strong light is really beautiful, and it will look amazing when we start working on the actual seeds and the pomegranate. This is a very beautiful reference. Because once you put a shadow, it automatically it means there's a light somewhere. That's why there's a shadow. So you want to enhance that. You want to show it more. It makes sense then why there's a strong shadow in that area. I don't need to take it all the way to the bottom part. Let's put another batch of gray. Adding burnt umber. Okay, I see. I can keep this just the way it is if I want, but I'll come back to it. Yeah, that's good. I'm really applying the color where there is a strong highlight. And then when I get into the inside, I'm applying a very soft pressure on the brush, because I want the soft edge over here. And if I push hard, then I'm gonna get a harsh edge. Okay, a little bit more here. Right here. And then I'm just gonna blend it with the background. Just whatever is left over on my brush. This is not a an important part, so I can go back to it anytime and adjust it. Now, since I've done this, okay, I lost some of the shadows, strong ones, so I'm gonna put them back a little bit, not much, just a little bit. Okay, right here. Right here, just cleaning up actually. I think we're good. next week we'll start adding, working on either the leaves or the pomegranate. But I think the background is good.
Is the right below the pomegranate, is that a daisy flower?
What's that? What's
below the pomegranate? There's leaves or petals. Is that supposed to be a daisy?
I'm not sure what kind of petals they are.
Looks like a flower still, right?
Flower?
Is it a flower? It looks like it's a flower.
It looks to me like it looks like the leaves of leaves of a flower, but not a flower itself. Maybe it is a flower. I have no idea. Really, I don't know. But I like the color.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And it's soft. It softens between the transition between the pomegranate and the leaves right here. It has a beautiful kind of composition circle right there. Very interesting color too to do. All right, I'm gonna stop and we'll continue next week.